Human rights lawyer Femi Falana San, a senior advocate of Nigeria, has called on the Nigerian Bar Association to fulfill its duty by addressing lawyers who engage in unethical practices. Falana made this statement during the 21st Memorial Lecture of Chief Gani Fawehinmi in Lagos. He criticized the legal representation of the adverse party to the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, asserting that the law is already settled on jurisdictional matters for certain categories of cases. He emphasized that traditional institutions are not a matter of fundamental rights and as such cannot be enforced in court. Falana also argued that courts have consistently held that the Federal High Court lacks jurisdiction over chieftaincy matters. He accused some legal practitioners of misleading their clients and creating unnecessary problems in the country. Joining me now for more on this is legal practitioner Evans Ufeli. He joins us live from Atlanta in Georgia, United States. Evans, let's just get started, shall we? Let me just start with this quote. We can't have two emirs in Kano, two speakers in Rivers. This confusion must stop. That quote directly are the words from Mr. Falana. How do you weigh in here?
Yes, it is wrong for you to have two captains in one ship. You can't have two rams drink water from the same bucket at the same time. There must be a coalition. Okay. In the case of the Emir of Kano, that is the one under reference now for this show, is that first of all, the matter was commenced via a fundamental right enforcement before, the Federal High Court. Now, you can commence a fundamental right enforcement before a Federal High Court. But what is important is that the Federal High Court here does not have jurisdiction. That is the first part on chieftaincy matters. Chieftaincy matters, traditional matters of that nature, the Federal High Court have no jurisdiction. If you look at clearly at Section 255 of the Constitution, you have 252, Section 252 of the Constitution clearly gives the scope of the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court. When it has to do with chieftaincy matter, you have to commence it in the State High Court. It's supposed to be commenced in the Kano State High Court, and that is the ruling of the Court of Appeal. Okay? The ruling of the Court of Appeal is that the matter ought to go back to the State High Court. That is the court that's supposed to be the court of first instance and not the Federal High Court in the first place. Now, Femi Falana's vent is that many lawyers are aware of jurisdictional issue, that jurisdiction is the lifeblood of litigation, that, decisions, however fine, judgments, however golden, once the court has no jurisdiction, it goes to no issue. And then these lawyers, this is a fundamental, a basic knowledge of the law. Lawyers, even fresh from law school, know that jurisdiction is critical. So why should a lawyer lead his client, take money from his client, and then go file a case in the wrong court? And then when judgment is handed down, it is overturned on appeal. Overturned on appeal because such judgments have no texture, have no fidelity, have no probative value to stand the test of time anywhere after the delivery of such judgments. So lawyers who do that should be disciplined. I agree, because we've seen cases where even when lawyers know that where they're heading to, there's no way there, they keep pushing, and just because they want to get the money from their client, they keep violating the professional ethics of, in our professional ethics, one of the rules there is that the lawyer is expected to guide his client within the bounds of law. So when you are not doing that, you are taking money from your client and you are filing the case at the wrong place, you are getting outcomes, the outcomes are being upturned, and you are still pushing. They are still saying they are going to the Supreme Court. In all these wrongs, even when the Court of Appeal have directed them to do the right thing, to go to the State High Court, Kano State High Court, they are still saying they are going to the Supreme Court. Okay, so that is the wrong we are talking about, that it is not fair on the litigants that their lawyers should mislead them. It's not part of our practice. In law school, a particular course is dedicated to what we call professional ethics, law in practice, where you are taught the ethics of the profession, what you should do and what you should not do, that holds the profession in high esteem and in respect. So when we as lawyers, when we pull out from those strong ethical and professional guidelines and begin to act outside it, then we'll run into problems. So that's why Femi Falana, SAN, is saying that lawyers involved in such must be disciplined, and I agree with him absolutely.
So how then should the NBA, specifically do this? Disrupt some lawyers to put others in check, or are there penalties that could apply, and will that not reverse the tide in some way? Will that reverse the tide in any way?
There are penalties stated even in the law. We have penalties stated even in the law, okay? It is the NBA section that discipline lawyers. It is their responsibility. And when a petition is brought forth before them, when they wade into issues like this, they look at the ethical provisions of the law as in practice in Nigeria. And where a lawyer has grown foul of these laws or these ethical codes, then the punishment thereof for each of the ethical misconducts is stated also in the law. So that discipline is important. And making this call at this point in time is critical to keep the sanity of the profession intact. There must be a voice of reason at some point that it is wrong. You have it in the law books. I mean, with the records of courts and all the law reports where you've had cases where people will commence traditional and chieftaincy matter at the federal court and the court vent against it. So why should we have more when we have precedents already? And someone is speaking also, and you're saying you're going to the Supreme Court. Okay, so this calls for discipline, to say the least.
Well, Evans, I must say thank you very much for joining us. Evans Ufeli, the legal practitioner, giving us a bit of more insight regarding Femi Falana's statement. I must say thank you again.